Okay, so here we go on Wraith Trap. Okay, so immediately going straight over here. I wouldn't mind seeing a spider put behind to do a little bit of damage when the hunters come out. Scooting along the edge. Now, if you go like this, I don't think that that's a really good feeding route. I think actually going this way is the correct way. Because there's not much food over here, and it's just going to make it easier for you to catch up. But yeah, here's a pit of reavers. You definitely want to go ahead and kill these guys. Nice big old chunk of food. Okay, so there's the spotters. They should be able to hear that if they recognize their sounds.
I just heard him way out there. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. So at least one of them heard the spotters. That's very good. But they should know that the monster's going this direction. Yep. Oh, and they heard spiders again. So
yeah,
Widow, one thing is to be aware of where spotters spawn. They always spawn in the same areas. You really want to be careful that you don't hit those by accident, because they can give away your position from good hunters.
Back there.
Okay, so here's the important split. Two people going straight this way should be able to cut off the monster in time. Oh, Josie barely missed the sighting. Oh, evolving. There's no Hank or anything. So, a 2-minute evolve. I like that they're holding the dome for now. Oh, going straight after the Trapper here, and Trapper is going to go down. Oh, go towards the medic. Towards that. And that's why, so that's a perfect example of why you have to go towards your support and Trapper. That you can't rely on them coming after you and bailing you out. Cookie Monster was out of position to begin with. You didn't need to be that super aggressive. You knew where he was, so you could cut off this area. Like you could stay right here and here and cut off this entire area, which the monster comes to you. But you really, really need to watch out and make sure the moment you get focused, head towards your medic.
There, so.
So going for a little bit of grubbage. And so the hunter should have an idea of where he is. Might be able to sneak out this way, actually.
Yeah, he's coming up through here.
Ooh, through the dome. That might
no.
be a little bit of a... the hunters cannot get through there, but neither can the monster. So we'll see. Make sure you fight out in the open so you can get away and kill those spider traps. Nice preemptive shield. Jupiter, really good job. But it does look like the medic. So the medic has a hard time, or Slim has a hard time without a defensive medic. With a defensive medic, he's really amazing, though, because he can be super, super tanky. Yeah. Because as Slim, you want to get away from the monster, but you can't heal unless you're shooting the monster, which makes it really awkward. But Slim doesn't really do too well without a defensive medic for the most part, unless you have a very offensive team and you're all about blitzing people. So it looks like the monster's trying to get another strike. There's the second strike. I probably wouldn't go after the assault now, because you still have 35 seconds to kill both people, and so now you're just kind of taking a little bit of extra damage. Not quite worth the strike, in my opinion. But if he catches up with Josie, should be able to finish it. Oh, and that's going to be game. Now against Gorgon, Kraken, and Wraith, you really have to make sure that you don't get overextended, and if so, you have to have an exit strategy. Know where your medic is at all times and head towards them the moment you start getting damage. GG. Good job. So the feeding route was kind of awkward, Widow. You kind of were scooping out a little bit. I feel like that the hunters should have caught you off when you were down in the southern part of the map before you evolved. But like literally as Hank was climbing that wall is when you went past the rock, so he couldn't see you. Because if he did, then he could have just jetpacked over and you could have gotten domed before you got evolved. So I'd work a little bit more on your pathing because you kind of scooped out in wrong areas and kind of went after low food items sometimes. But your focus was really, really good. The first strike that happened with Griffin, the moment you started getting focused and you knew the monster was there. First of all, I think that I would have just waited for your whole team to get in position and then try and dome the monster because the monster was in a corner and he would have had to have gone through you anyway. But I did like that you held the dome. You didn't throw it away as soon as you saw him. But the moment you started taking damage, you needed to head to your medic. I find that a lot of hunters kind of forget this, but supports and medics are like your go-to beacons. They're your hub. So whenever you start taking damage, you want to try and go towards them immediately because otherwise line of sight issues will block you, especially against burst monsters like Gorgon and that's why you don't really ever want to jetpack towards the monster because then you usually have to spend twice as much fuel as you spent going towards the monster to get away from the monster. And so if you know the monster is going to be cornered somewhere, a tiny bit of extra armor damage here or there is not going to make things in the grand scheme of things. In the end, it's all about fundamental positions that it's worth not doing that much damage just to have a better dome and so on and so forth like that. Aside from that, the second dome was pretty decent. It's kind of rough with Slim without a defensive medic or a defensive support to help him out. Bucket can kind of help out with mechanized recharge, but Slim kind of wants to face the monster and shoot because he can't really run away. If he's running away, he's not going to be able to heal himself, and if he's not healing himself, he's just going to end up dying no matter what. So I would always try and encourage playing a defensive support. At least either of the Hanks. Regular Hank and Slim put together are extremely strong, but any of the offensive ones, it really takes a lot of good coordination on the team for Slim to be able to work out. Kala can teleport out. Cabot, in theory, should trade a lot of strikes or a lot of permanent health for strikes. I'm trying to think who else. Sunny's defensive, which can be used as well. But Sunny are the two Hanks I would probably pair up with Slim. Anyone else just doesn't really work. Bucket can, but your team has to be really, really knowledgeable about when to use mechanized recharge and having a hard crowd control ability with like Maggie or Griffin to be able to stop the monster when you need to get Slim away. But otherwise, good job.